All right. Hey, everybody. We are here back again, Mothers Unfiltered. Yay. And I just want to say, give a shout out to all my listeners. We love you guys. We love you. We love you. We're going to jump right into things. My original guest had an accident. So my prayers were with her family. So please, definitely. We never want any type of accidents to happen to anyone, especially during these times. Go ahead, Ty. Drop us some knowledge.
Okay, so you know what it is, everyone. If you have not subscribed, please go to YouTube, type in Mothers Unfiltered. You're gonna see the beautiful Rose. Press the subscribe button, the like button, and then the bell button for notifications. Again, we will be transitioning from streaming live off of Facebook straight to YouTube. So we're getting it together, but you will be able to find the videos after the fact on our Facebook page when we start, branching out a little bit more.
Yes, yes, yes. So I want to introduce everybody to my lovely sister, but also Miss Aquanis Brown, who happens to be a realtor for the last 19 years, and currently she's representing Blair Realty Group. And I want to say I brought Miss Aquanis Brown on for the simple fact that I was reading an article. It's going to take 2 seconds, Ty. You know how.
No, go ahead, do you?
So basically, what made me even say, we need to talk about this. Basically, a mixed race couple in Florida whose house in Jacksonville had initially been valued by an appraiser at $330,000 back in June, said the same residence was valued at over 40% higher at a second appraisal after they removed images of their Black family members. They instead put up paintings of her husband, who happened to be a white individual, and left him home to handle the appraiser alone. And when I seen that, I said, wait a second, are you meaning to tell me that a person can buy a home, want to sell a home, get the home appraised, and somebody in the same block that can have the same house as you would get appraised differently? And I said, wait, I got to bring Quan on, I call her Quan. Sorry, guys. I got to bring her on just because I'm like, wait, what is going on? Is this real? Talk about it. Is this actually true, Quan? Can people do these things? Like, talk to me about that.
It can definitely happen. I will say that I appreciate you guys bringing me on as your expert advice in this situation. But yes, it can happen. It shouldn't happen.
Oh no!
Wait, I take the. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you guys hear me?
Okay. Keep
Okay.
rolling.
Yeah, I was saying it is storming over here, so I hope we don't get any interruptions. But yeah, it is unlawful, but it does happen because people are people, and they are biased in some cases. Appraisers, they go out and they're supposed to determine the value. Yes, they have a certification. Some of them go on to get licensed, but sometimes they can be persuaded. That's why they kind of took that out of our hands as realtors. We're not really allowed to meet the appraiser to choose the appraiser.
Oh, wow.
Anymore. I've noticed that over my years in working in real estate, we used to be able to choose our own appraiser to go out when we get a listing, but it's not allowed anymore because I guess they just are easily persuaded these days.
Wow.
So if you bring them a latte and their favorite donut or something, oh, let me just mark this a little higher or a little lower. Which way are we going today? So unfortunately, it still goes on. I have seen some that I had to rebut. We are allowed as realtors to rebut an appraiser, their opinion, because it's really just an opinion. It's not a guarantee that that's the price of your home. It's their opinion of the price of your home. You can get 2 appraisals, 3 appraisals, and sometimes they're different prices. So, because you have, basically you get the data, you go out there. But I would say I recommend when you're listing a house, take your pictures down. I think I was telling you that.
Yeah, you did tell me that. Take your personal stuff.
Depersonalize the house. It's not to sell yourself short or you're embarrassed, but we're not selling you.
Right.
We're selling the house. Everybody does not have an open mind. We can see your favorite football team hanging on the wall, and I don't like your team, and I don't want to buy your house all of a sudden.
Wow.
Right.
Oh, she went out again. I wonder if the storm is bad.
And she said it was thundering over there. Can you
hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but we can't see you.
I don't know where I went. I'm still here. Maybe it'll pop back in.
You said, I don't know where I went.
I don't know. The box is blank, but I'm here. Long as you can hear me, I guess that's the most.
I would love to see your beautiful face, though, but we'll work with what we got.
Yes,
right.
This is live, and you know how things are happening. We can't, Florida weather is kind of wacky sometimes. So
but isn't Mercury like going into retrograde or something like that? So electronics acts up. Okay, so
I went over my head.
Whoa. Whatever. Whatever. Some of y'all out there know what I'm talking about. Okay. So I guess I have like a general question. So a person as myself who does not own a home and who has never owned a home, can you walk me through the process? So let's say I called you up and I'm like, Cuzzo, I want to look into buying a home. I'm not sure, Florida or New York. What would be your next steps? How would you guide me?
I would first ask you a few questions before we send you to get pre-approved. Basically, you have a few things that you need to have in line even before you go get approved. Because if you're not approved for a home, we're just window shopping. And I like to shop for real. Yeah. So window shopping is all cute and all, but you really want to go out there and be able to have some.
Oh,
wait, we lost. Wait, let's see.
Hold on.
Are you able to?
Okay, wait. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you now.
Okay. Woo. Still no video, but you can hear me.
Yes.
You left off at window shopping and you like to shop.
Oh, okay. We want to have purchasing power. You would remember that point, right?
Yes, you would, right?
So we want to make sure, what is your credit score? You may or may not know what it is, but most of the time people have a general idea what their credit score is.
What's a good credit score?
A good credit score to purchase, and I would say that would be in any state, not just here, and we're not going to give the high or the low, but the average is 640.
Okay.
There are cases, because people may chime in, that they bought a home with a lower credit score. Yes, it is possible. That's not for everybody.
Right.
And of course, the higher you go, the better the terms are. But that's a general number. So you need to have a good credit score. You also need to consider your debt to income ratio. So your lender will talk to you about that, but usually I ask that you kind of think about it. You know how many bills you have.
Right.
You know how to start tightening up your budget because you're getting ready to make a major purchase. And you know how much income you make. So your debt to income ratio. You need to dust off that math in your brain and let's look at some numbers. How much income do I bring in? How much debt do I have? And you do a division problem and that'll make your ratio. Okay. So with your debt to income ratio too high, you're not going to get approved for too much because you can't really afford too much. That's what they're looking at. You don't have much income left after you pay all your bills. So the less bills you have, or you consolidating or tightening up that budget, now you have a little bit more income left to spend on your house payment. Okay. So your debt to income ratio, and please have a job.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
You guys are laughing, but please have a job, because some people will come or call, I'm ready to purchase. I'm like, okay. And I ask these same questions. Well, you know, I got laid off about 3 months ago. So what are we doing here? What are we doing?
So
Wow.
You can't see my face, unfortunately. But
I would love to see your facial expression right now when somebody talking about I want a $400,000 home.
she's trying to come back in. You see her little
Yeah.
Okay, so make sure that you have a job, some kind of steady income. Well, okay, so what if you don't have a job, but you're receiving like disability or something like that, which is a steady income? Do they
okay.
do
We
they
can
use
work with that. We can work with that, Ty, as long as we have steady income. If you're getting disability, and you're also maybe you're getting a disability check and a retirement check, or you're getting,
Yeah.
as long as it's a guaranteed income every month. Well, we know our jobs are not guaranteed, but I think
Right.
you understand what I'm saying.
Right. No.
We have to have some steady income. They can even use child support sometime as a income. If it's been coming steady, it's documented by the court, and you can prove that I get X amount every month. So it just has to be a steady income. Okay. Not my unemployment, because we know that only lasts for
right.
a few weeks. So once those basic things are done, I will send you off to the mortgage broker, which is going to reiterate most of the same stuff to you again and want some documentation to prove it. Okay. I just don't want to send you there to get disappointed. So I try to pre-screen my customers or anyone that asks me about it. Prepare yourself. If you know your credit score is 560, don't have someone to pull your credit again. It's not going to happen right now. Mm-hmm. So make a game plan. You can make a plan and say, well, if I give myself 6 months or a year, I'm going to work really hard, and I know what I need to work on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So what about the cases where you may have a low credit score, but you're coming with a lot of money to put down? Does that weigh out? Does that make a difference?
That can help. Most loans, even a conventional loan where you're going to put down a lot more money into it, they still will require like a 580 or a 620 credit score. And there are some loans that for certain professions, they can use a stated income loan. There's different type of loan products out there. So everyone is different. So that's why they need to talk to the mortgage broker for themselves, because usually they don't tell us, the realtors, everything. Mm-hmm. They just try to hide, like, I'm not telling you all my business, but they'll tell the mortgage broker. Right. But you need to just be forthcoming and let the mortgage broker know, because there's some jobs that don't have a paycheck. Even myself, I don't have like a steady paycheck, but I make plenty of income. Yeah. But it's by sales, by commission. Or what about a hairdresser? Things like that. They don't have a paycheck, but they make plenty of money. Different professions, they have the income, but they have to learn the steps of putting their money into the bank consistently. If you're a barber, a beautician, or someone that works and make money every day, make it your business to pay yourself every week consistently, like a paycheck, into your bank account. Make that $800 deposit once a week, or whatever you want your income to look like, because they can always go by your bank statement, and you're gonna need a bank account. That's another thing.
Some people just want that cash economy.
Not the mattress money. That's your money, I guess, because we need some season. And I'm saying it from the old to the young. I have the money, and they show you the bank statement, and it might have $129 in it. I'm like, well, where's the money? Don't worry about it. That's what they tell me. Don't worry about it. I have the money.
Wow.
Well, where is it? Because we can't. You can't just roll up to the title company and pull out $300,000 cash in front of. That's not going to work.
Right.
And if you just dump $300,000 into your account, you're going to send off all sorts of red flags.
Yep.
Because the bank is going to say, "Hey, where'd this money? Where'd you get this from?
Been up to?
What you been up to? It was under my mattress. Well, what else is under that mattress?" So they're going to start asking too many questions.
So we have, okay. So just for the people that are chiming in, we're just, we're talking about buying homes, and then we're going to get in some specifics, I guess, about, differences when it comes to people of color versus our, counterparts, and, APR rates and stuff like that. Is that like, that makes sense?
Wait a minute now. APR rates.
Is that part of it?
That is a part of real estate. Yes.
Oh, it is.
It's a part of anything that has to do with that credit.
So V said, how about credit report? Hello, V. Hey, hello, Deanna.
What does I can't see the question. What was the question?
It says, how about credit report? So what do you mean, V? Like, where do you go to get it? Or I guess, Aquinas, you could just,
Okay. As for the credit report, we were talking about credit score earlier, which you can get from your credit report. If you don't have a score on the report that you're getting, they have freecreditreport.com. They have a lot of different, you can just Google some sites that offer you a credit report, but not all of them offer you your score.
So I want to just put out there, and I love to share some of my business. Miss Aquinas Brown has been my realtor for when I purchased both of my homes, and she is an excellent realtor.
Yes, girl.
With saying that, but with saying that, though, there's a couple of things I definitely wanted to ask the questions so the audience can know. So when I bought both of the properties, I wanted them to be new construction. When a person rolls up to a new construction, they have the salespeople there, and they're like, "Hey, take a tour." Should they also talk about that they have a realtor, or should they just go with the person there, or how does that work?
Good question, Akia. You hit the nail on the head. No.
I can't.
That is not just a salesperson. That is the builder's realtor sitting in there. The builder's realtor.
Okay. Wait.
Did I say that? Builder's realtor.
What? A construction what?
So when
you want to buy new construction.
When you walk in the new models, the model homes, you're like, "Oh, look at that over there," and then you walk in, and those people are sitting there.
Okay. Again, yes. Help me.
So sometimes we're driving through the neighborhood or on the other side of town. You're like, "Oh my gosh, they're building this new neighborhood. It's beautiful," and you may just want to stop in and see the model homes. You may not even be 100% sure that you want to buy right now. You might just want to take a peek inside. But remember, Akia used the person. What did you call the person in that office, Akia?
The sales lady.
Yeah, the sales lady.
And who was she?
She is really the builder's realtor.
Okay.
You need your own realtor. And it may say, you're like, "I'm not ready to buy. I'm not sure." But if you go in there without someone to represent you, even just as a looker, they're going to just assume and put your name down that you're working with the builder's realtor.
And they're going to get that money.
If you don't give them a name, they automatically just put, "Oh, we're going to put Akia down over here as the builder's realtor. She can go under here. And when it's time, I'm going to call her every day. I'm going to encourage her to buy this expensive home." And I still work for the builder. I don't represent a Kia, but I'm going to call her and act like I care about her. And I'm going to sell her this new model home. But all the time, a Kia is like, I have a realtor. If I ever wanted to buy a home, I have a realtor.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't know that, just when you go in there, if you know one realtor, even if you're not sure if you're going to use them, just put their name down as your representation. You know how like a lawyer, you know, like I have my own attorney. I don't need you over there on the other side. So you need to make sure you're represented. And you don't have to pay a buyer's agent. As a buyer, that's very, very important. A lot of people ask me that question or tell me that's why they didn't call me to use me. I can't afford a realtor.
Wow.
Guess who pays me?
Who?
The seller. The seller always pays me. I never get paid by a buyer. But I always represent the buyer unless I intentionally work for a seller to sell their home. But if you want to buy a home, I'm your free agent because the seller is going to pay me for bringing a qualified buyer.
There's a question, Ty, if you want to jump on that one.
So first, hello, Freely Commenting. Welcome back. But Freely Commenting has the question of, they said, hi, I live in Atlanta. Do you consult in Florida only, or what are the areas you broker?
I do work in Florida only as of right now. If you need a representative in Atlanta, I do have someone that I can refer you to in certain counties. I can try to find you an agent in any area in Atlanta, but I do already have some connections in the Atlanta area, so I can refer you to someone that would take good care of you.
So question, and I'm going to pick your brain. So
Wait, first, everyone, can we just like look at Kia and highlight that it's her hair. She looks absolutely gorgeous.
We're gonna go there right now.
Yes, you're so cute.
You are stunning today.
So thank you, my queen. So back to what we were talking about. Don't put me on blast like that. I like to be in the spotlight, but I don't like that type of spotlight. I like to put myself in it. So we're gonna just retract real quick. So, Jesus, or my screen gonna be blacked out too. Like,
all right, a Wonder Bread.
So basically, when it comes to back in the day, let's just say some years ago, you would hear a lot of people, especially a lot of young people, like, hey, I don't want to buy a home because I'm always ripping and running. I don't know if I'm ready to settle. Maybe I want to go here and go here. You own a home that kind of just, you're just stuck there in that area. Let me go rent. But as of now, the increase of rents have been going up. Rental properties have been increasing crazy. I mean, this has just been going up on an incline. With that being said, I was doing a little research. Let me pull out the notes. And since 2012, compared to, it started declining by a 44% drop of Black home ownership. And do you feel that it's because of just the fact of these young generations just going out there saying, hey, we just don't want to buy because we just want to, see the world and travel? Or do you think it's because of some other type of issue as to why we as a group are not buying as much? Because I do hear now that the rents are very, very high for a 1-bedroom or 2. And just for asking a question real quick, Ty, what is a 1-bedroom in your area in New York going for?
Oh, gee, you could pay for a 1-bedroom. It could be like $1,200 and up. And that's just in the Orange County area. That has nothing to do with New York City. New York City is totally different. Like, they have lofts that's like $1,300, $1,400, $1,500. It's expensive. And yeah.
But that's somebody's mortgage, you know. So you got a bigger house. So for you, Quan, can you just? I mean, is there a reason, or do you think there's a reason as to why it's just been on a decline in reference to home ownership?
Well, from what I've noticed, I do see a lot of younger people in the past that say, I don't want to buy, just as you were saying, it's a lot of upkeep. I don't know if I could commit to a place. I'm not my mother. I don't want to stay anywhere for 30 years. Who does that? You know, it's just too long. But I think it was a mistake. And I can say it was very, very hard for a lot of people of color to get qualified for a loan as well. The mortgage industry has changed quite a bit. We have had it go from very high interest rates to a big drop. You know, I can say right when Obama came in, the rates went down, not as low as they are now, because they're nice and sweet now that we can say thank you for one thing, if not anything else, for that, for the low interest rate.
Right.
But the interest rates when our parents bought their homes and probably was like 18%, 19%, especially with the low credit score. And then I think that's what caused people to be a little hesitant, because why commit to something? I don't really even like this house like that. The interest rate's really high. I'm going to be paying and paying. So they decided to rent. But now when you can pay your rent and your mortgage is lower than the average rent.
Yes.
Yep.
I recommend, and I've seen people scurrying within these last 2 to 3 years. Let me get myself together and try to buy a home, because they're calling me for rental properties and they just need a basic 3-bedroom, 2-bath for their family, because where else are you going to put up? You know, you don't have a lot of space to put everyone, 3 kids, your husband and wife, or even a mom and 3 kids. You need at least a 3-bedroom. And now the average 3-bedroom here in Orlando, the average rent for a 3-bedroom is like $1,500 for and in an area that is not so great, that rent is still like $1,300, and you would need to have your gun with you as well.
Wow.
Just your family, but you need to make sure you have something to protect yourself. There you go. That's the word. Packing your heat.
Wrong podcast, people. Let's keep it professional.
So if you don't want to live in those neighborhoods, you have to pay $1,500 plus, and that's a lot. That is definitely a mortgage for like a $250,000 house.
It's interesting you said that, because where I live in Orlando is a nice neighborhood, and I want to say a 3-bedroom can go for $2,500. And that's just with the nice little amenities and this, and it's like, wow, $2,500 and the 3-bedroom. I mean, yes, it's bigger square footage than an apartment in New York City, but at the same time, you can definitely be owning so much more. And I definitely, if we could jump into the comments real quick, Ty.
Let me run them back. Okay, so we did have a follow-up from freely commenting Aquinas that was asking Fulton County, Atlanta ? If I bring it up, can you see the questions, Aquinas?
I can.
Okay, so this is the follow-up question from freely commenting.
On Fulton County, can I message her afterwards and give her the contact person?
I don't know if it's a he or her.
Or he or she, I'm sorry. Well, is it okay if we can do it afterwards and give
We can Yes. At the end of the day, what we can do is put your information, so people can contact. Maybe have your email address of some sort,
Okay.
so we can go that way.
And we'll put it
Yes,
in
and
the
then I'll be
comment
glad
section.
to give them a contact person in Fulton County.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jesse. I appreciate it. Jesse Moore was also stating that, which is something you stated earlier, you can pay so much less on a mortgage than rent. And she was also stating that the rent rates are criminal. Money when you buy a home, your payment stays the same for 30 years while others' rent is going up.
That's true. So I highly recommend right now, if you didn't consider it in the past, now is a great time to purchase because the interest rates are super low. If your credit score is at that 640 or higher, then you can get an interest rate of maybe 3 3/4, maybe even better. The higher the score is. If you're a veteran, it's even sweeter. I don't want to throw any numbers out there and mislead anyone, but follow up with your mortgage person because the interest rates are very low. I've never seen them this low since I've been doing real estate in the last 19 years. I would say if you can get those few things that I said earlier in the podcast together, get your credit score, your debt to income ratio, and make sure you have a good job. And listen, sometimes we have to change our employment. I do want to say that. And you may have to transition, especially now with the pandemic and things going on. You may have to make a shift in your employment. That's okay. You're not really going to be penalized for that. But try to keep it in the same line of work. Don't become, you were a chef and now you're going to be a childcare provider. It's nothing wrong with either job, but the problem is they're trying to see that you're just maybe trying to find another avenue that's the same type of skill, because there's no guarantee you're going to be a good babysitter if you were a chef.
Right.
But usually if you go to be another chef, most likely you would succeed in being a good chef again, but you may not be good as good with children as you think you are.
Go ahead, Key. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say real quick, one thing that you mentioned is pandemic. And of course, it's happening. We all know about the coronavirus. How has this stopped, or how has this affected just the business in general? Now, one thing I know for sure, since this is happening, interest rates are so low, everybody under the sun is trying to refinance because the interest rates are so low. But those are people who are actually owning homes already. But just in regards to, you as a realtor meeting people and going out there and showing properties, of course, people still have to do their business and wear the mask and stuff. But have things changed? Has the industry changed because of the pandemic?
That's a great question.
Definitely with that. I can say business has been really good. Actually, I thought it was going to slow down, but a lot of people are still purchasing. But I can say we do have to wear masks. We do have to sometimes wear gloves if the home is owner occupied and you're doing a showing. Some owners don't want you coming into their home as much as they want to sell. They ask that you do a virtual tour. So the realtor has to go back out. Their listing agent has to go back out and maybe do a video of the home. Or if you're going to do photos that can be made into a video, because you're a little nervous. You don't know who's coming in and out of your home and if they've been tested, and that would just bring a whole lot of problems. You're not,
and what
temperature checks at the door and things like that. So we have to do a lot more virtual showing of the homes, and it's a little discouraging for.
No.
Uh-oh. Did she go out?
Did it get too bad? Is she still
really?
I thought I heard her. Wait a second.
Am I gone? Am I here?
Oh, you're here, boo.
Now.
Okay, I'm back. Okay.
Yes.
Is it still storming? I hope not. Jesus.
No, I was saying it can get discouraging for some buyers because can you hear me?
Yeah.
You're kind of in and out.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I can't hear anything, so hopefully you can hear me.
Oh, you can't hear
there it
anything?
We
Yes,
can hear
it's
you.
breaking up a lot. It's still storming on this side. I was saying it can get discouraging for some buyers because they want to be able to see the home. It's different looking at it, a video versus walking through the home. So,
Yeah, well,
but we're still selling them.
There's like dents, you know, if the foundation is a little faulty, like there are things that you can't fully inspect when you have to do a virtual tour when you're trying to buy a home, and it's an investment.
Yeah.
We have so freely commenting. Thank you, sweetheart. Yes, definitely. I did put up credit score and debt to income ratio, and then we have Anthony Florestal. Each loan has 3 legs: income, credit, equity. I don't know what that means.
I thought I knew what he meant, but I'm not 100% sure. See if he can clarify his question.
Yeah, Anthony, if you could just clarify what the 3 legs: income, credit, equity is.
I think I know what he's referring to. We call it the 3-legged stool. If that's what he's meaning, the income, which I was saying your job is your income.
Okay.
Your equity. And what was the last thing that he used? I don't really.
Yeah, the loan, income, and credit, equity.
Yeah.
She said, yeah. Again, like I said, I don't know any of this, but you were talking about and Kia, you know, you had brought it up about the impact that buying and selling a home has, you know, pre versus post COVID. So Aquinas, I'm wondering, like during the present and I guess, you know, transition and hopefully out of COVID, have you seen more people of color selling or buying, or it hasn't affected anything that you've been a witness to?
I think I've seen the increase a little bit before the pandemic, a little bit more of people of color purchasing. As for the selling, it seems as if, from my experience, they don't sell as fast. You really have to poke and prod to get them to sell that home. Sometimes they've used the equity that's in the home already for a second mortgage, or, you know, things got hard and they may have pulled their equity out. I don't see them as as selling as many, you know, they don't sell as fast. They usually stay a little bit longer.
I'm wondering if it's because they can't move on, you know, as easily, or
I think it's because to sell their home. Remember the comment that Cash made, the question or the comment that he made about your set mortgage. When you turn around and you have to sell that home, now you have to go to something higher. Where, say they've been in their home for 10 years and they're comfortable paying maybe $900 a month, you know, because when they purchased it, their mortgage was only $900 a month. But now, if they sell that home, they'll make some good money off of it. But they'll also have to be prepared to maybe pay $1,200 a month for their new mortgage.
Right.
And they're pretty comfortable paying that $9,000.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So sometimes I think that's, from my experience, they're a little leery on increasing that mortgage.
I have a question, and maybe if you could just tell me your opinion on it. So I was listening to a rapper slash activist by the name of Killer Mike state that we as African Americans, we need to move back into our communities. You know, we need to buy back into our neighborhoods. That's how we will rebuild our neighborhoods, by investing in them.
Right.
With that being said, when you deal with certain demographics, no matter what the color the skin is, but they are wanting to purchase, are you seeing that we are or people of color wanting to move back into their neighborhoods? Or are you seeing that they're like, hey, we done made it big now, and they're up and out of there?
They're out. Deuces up. They're out.
Yeah. You don't know. You have to know Aquinas. Like,
I wish you guys could see me.
I thought you were taking a plane when you said do some power. I was like,
she wasn't playing. So they're not going back. They don't want to go back to the neighborhood.
No. They're out of there. They're out of there. Close as they can to the moving on up to the other side. You know, if they can't get all the way in there, they want to get out. I do believe what he said is true. And I can understand it 100%. And I would say I even agree with it. But for here in our area in Orlando, that's not what people are trying to do. It's not just because I think they don't want to support their Black community. It's also because the schools are rated lower, the crime is higher, and people are tired. You know, they're literally tired. I have to get out of here for my sanity, for my safety of my family, trying to save the children, you know, education.
How do you think that, and please, Ty, if anybody out there has that answer, because it's funny, I asked that question, but for myself, most of my property is not in those type of communities. And it's crazy. I do it. When I first moved to Orlando, I remember they were shooting right outside my son's window. And I was like, I got to get out of here, because if I wanted to see that or experience bullets, I moved back to New York City if I wanted to, you know.
Right.
Why would I move to Florida and still experience it? But at the same time, it's like a double-edged sword. As much as it's like, okay, we need to get away from it, how do we build up that community? Because of course, if the houses are not there, the Starbucks and the different, you know, stores that would come to build that community up as well, they're not coming. Like, how do we change that? I mean, because at the same time, our safety is important as well.
Right. I mean, but when I hear about moving out of the neighborhood for the safety of our families, we're moving into neighborhoods where our families are still not safe.
That's true, Ty. You're absolutely right. But it's a whole different type of safety that you're talking about. It may not be as obvious. You may not hear the gunshots out your window.
Not every single day.
But for here, you may have to deal with racism. You may have to deal with, you know, someone don't want you in their neighborhood. Really, we're just being honest. They may not just want you in their neighborhood, and you will feel it every day. So can you send your children outside to play and have a peace of mind? You have your beautiful home. You're in a good neighborhood. They're in a good school. But when they're outside playing, they may not get shot necessarily, but can you feel comfortable with them outside and no one treating them, you know, mistreating them?
Right.
I would say for our neighborhoods, I've been noticing that some investors have been purchasing the homes in the lower price neighborhoods.
No, we'll come to it.
And they're remodeling them, and the prices are going up.
It starts with a letter G.
You want to know what? If we could actually talk about Newburgh, New York, and the divide between the inner city of Newburgh versus down by the water. They bought up all the properties, the buildings, and you can tell when you hit a certain area, it's different, very different.
yes.
We
Yes.
have
Yeah, go to the comments and then we'll go back to that. Okay, sorry.
okay, so I did see back in the comment, Lynette Freeman had stated 3-bedroom 1,800, and she also lives in Orange County. Anthony, he had stated income is their job, equity is the down payment, and credit is the tri-merge score.
Okay, so yes, we were talking about the same thing. He just stated it in a different way. So yes, Anthony is absolutely correct, which we talked about earlier.
Right. Thank you, Anthony. And then we have Giselle. Where and who, or where do you start with the bank or broker when it comes time to buy a house?
Great question.
Yeah.
If you have a good rapport with your bank and you've banked with them for a while, I would say definitely check with your bank to see what interest rate and what programs that they have to offer for you. But usually a broker is my preferred choice because they can shop other lenders. So usually a bank, we'll just use one bank for an example. If you go to Chase, you bank with Chase Bank. They're gonna offer you their mortgage products. But if you shop with Paramount Mortgage, they're going to give you themselves as a lender, and then they may have 10 other lenders or 20 other lenders.
You could choose
so
from.
Say their program doesn't fit you the best, they still can make money, and they're going to sell you one of the other products that they have to offer. Usually a bank is just going to sell you what they have to offer, and their terms are usually a little more stricter because it's just one product.
And the broker shops around.
Yes, they're going to get you a loan most of the time. They're going to shop around and see out of 20 lenders which one I can send my client to get them a loan.
Okay.
And they may get 5 and then whittle it down to see which one is the best terms for you.
So jumping back to that conversation we were
back to your question, right?
So and now here's so we're in Orlando, Aquinas and I, and we're also Orange County. You're in Orange County, but in New York State. Originally from New York, and I could say through the whole East Coast. And I know people in other states as well. They all say that the big cities, certain neighborhoods, there are big investment firms that are just buying up all the neighborhoods. So where you would consider, oh, this is the hood or this is the bad side of town, or especially in the city, Baltimore is so crime driven. You see the riots on the TV. Well, not anymore. You got your latte stands and everything. Everything is completely different the way we remember it. The question that my mother has always asked, and maybe anybody can answer, is once communities are getting driven out of that neighborhood, where are they going? And you could go from Atlanta, you could go to New York, you could go to all the big areas, and the prices are just rising. These families cannot afford places to live. California is one of them. I seen there was like these tenements where in one room they'll have 10 people sleeping in pods, and these 10 people will share that master bedroom with that bathroom, and their rent for these pods is like $1,000 each. So besides those type of extreme situations and being homeless, where are these people going?
Probably locate into other cities or states that fit their financial need. I mean, like even probably like Section 8 or something like that.
Or a lot of people are co-familying, sometimes 2 families merge together to make it affordable, because with the rent prices rising, I definitely have seen that. And with the prices of homes where they are, I've seen that as well, where some families they have to live with someone else, be a roommate. If it's a single person or, a single mom with one child, they may live with another single mom and their child, and then they can split the rent. If the rent is $1,800, split it where it's affordable now.
That's crazy. I want to know about, like, what are the programs called? They had the Fannie Mae, and something Mac.
Freddie Mac,
Yeah, are those programs still out there? And if they are they beneficial?
They do still have the Fannie Mae, and they still do have the Freddie Mac. I'm not that familiar with Freddie Mac, so I don't want to overstep what I know. The Fannie Mae program is still around, and I do think it's beneficial. That is a lender's question, and that's why even shopping around with different lenders, if you usually go with an FHA mortgage, you usually will get is usually funded by Fannie Mae. By Fannie Mae. Yes, so
can you go to
the lenders?
Okay, so Giselle had stated, Aquinas, thank you. That helps me so much. And then we have Liz. Hey, Liz. My broker told me with surgical precision how I could get to the score I needed to close, and I closed/moved in less than 6 months. Make sure you find the right person for your situation.
It's funny you said that, Liz. So when I was buying my house, I remember they had like a person, I guess the actual construction agency, the lender, the builder, excuse me, they had their own credit person. And she was telling me specific things. Don't touch, don't do this, do this. And of course, as individuals, we went, well, what about this? What about, and we had these questions. If you listen to the plan, they kind of had like a pre-calculator kind of foreshadowing what if you took this off with this is what the game, the score will be that you will end up being able to qualify. So definitely she's right on target with that. Because if you're able to just listen and follow the instructions that they're giving you, they all kind of work together cohesively.
I totally agree. So you do have to find the right person. I don't use a lot of different brokers because I try to find ones that I know that work fair and, and that are going to be the best for my clients. Because sometimes with the wrong person steering you in the wrong direction or even just one step off, you get 2 weeks down to where you think you're closing and they're, well, we can't do it. It's not working. Who wants to hear that? Who wants to hear that?
That happened to me. You know that.
Did it? No, did it?
It was it's interesting. So the first experience I had buying a home, it was great. You're like, woo, this is the magical thing, American dream. The second time that we went to purchase was terrible. I wish I knew the woman's name right now. I put her on blast. It made me feel very, very inadequate. I want to say that if that was my very first time, I would probably be like, I'm not doing this because she was indirectly disrespectful.
I remember disrespectful directly.
I remember a comment that she made. She said, well, if you can't get this home, maybe you could buy a nice car, buy some toys for all those kids you have. And I'm like, well, wait a minute.
Wait, say that again. She said what?
She said that if I didn't get the home, then maybe I could buy a nice car or buy some toys for all those kids that you have. And I'm sitting here looking like, now at this time I have my newborn and then I have 2 teenagers. So I'm like, well, what does she mean, all these kids? And Aquinas and my husband basically told me to keep my mouth shut. That was something that they told me the whole process. The whole process was please be quiet, Akia, because I think I would have had hurt somebody.
I wonder how many other people and people of color have linked up with others that didn't care for their physical outlook and was really hesitant in helping them. And if the deal didn't go through, maybe that was part of the reason. They didn't, give the correct information. I don't know what's going on. There's a lot of noise going on.
You hear feedback, yeah. You still there? You still there, Quan?
I can hear you. Just
Okay.
a second, please.
It's on mute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead.
You good? But yeah, again, I couldn't imagine going to buy a house and having someone that makes me feel or talks to me as if I'm less than. So then I don't have that. There's that lack of respect and lack of trust.
Mm.
So how can I trust that you're going to help me? Buying a home is huge.
Mhm.
That's not like going to the store and buying it, buying a pair of socks. Or you're talking about paying years, 30 sometimes plus years into something. And again, to have someone taint it when you're first going in, that sucks that you went through that.
Yeah. And now let me ask you this question, and maybe we can even put that information up just in case. I remember when I had these complaints and I had these things, and like I said, she was right there as my realtor, helping me, because it was an emotional journey. But with that being said, if somebody is mistreating you through the process of trying to find a home, isn't there people that you can reach out to to tell somebody so they can get reprimanded, Aquana?
There is. We as realtors, and it doesn't matter what state you're in, we all are regulated by our state. Our license is through our state. So you can go through the department, we call it the DBPR down here, Department of Business Regulations. You can also contact your local real estate board that's in your county or in your city if you can't reach the state, even though you can always Google it and find your exact state authority. You can start with your local realtor. Call the broker. Every one of us have someone over us. Although we're independent contractors, we hang our license at a company. If you want to complain about your realtor, about the mortgage broker, ask for their broker. Or the company. Look up the company. If they don't want to give it to you and you're not talking anymore, look up the company. There's a broker. And from the broker, you can go even higher. Just take the steps. But yes, you can make a complaint. And in a Kia's situation, we made it through the process. It was emotional for her. We had to keep her steady because she was ready to lose it or to give up. And sometimes that's a big step in real estate. It's not an easy process. I know we're getting down to the last minutes. It's not always an easy process.
We don't make a hard stop, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not always an easy process, but you can get through it. It is regulated. There is laws. So it's not just anything goes and anything can happen. So if something goes too far out of whack, you can make a formal complaint about it. But have a realtor that you know and you trust. It's easy to call people off the signs and just like, well, I like this house and I'm going to call that realtor. You don't know them. Right. Try to deal with someone that you know, that you can trust, build a relationship, or get a referral from someone else that you know that had a great relationship with their realtor or with their mortgage broker.
Okay.
And see that Akia situation, she went through the builder, and yes, I helped her with the real estate portion, but they also require you to get qualified through their lender. And so that was the little monster she had to deal with that was talking down to her.
So okay. So to help me understand, everyone processes things differently. So let's say I had Kia as my realtor, right? Mm-hmm. And we didn't work at all.
Okay.
I can go seek someone else out, a different realtor for that same house, and just drop her?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
If it's the same particular house, if the realtor that you were dealing with, we'll use Akia as your scenario. She's the procuring cause. She's the one that showed you that home. So if you have a problem with her, in order for you to switch to another realtor to finish the process, I would recommend you going to her broker. Because if you just grab another realtor that will help you, and believe me, they will, and they're ready to help you, they're gonna run into a little problem because it's a paper trail, and they can see Akia started this process and she still wants her paycheck.
Right.
Because she brung a qualified buyer.
Right.
Which is you. So she brought you to the home. Whether you and her fall out, she still wants her paycheck and she can fight for it.
Wait a minute. So, okay. So you're telling me that, okay, again, let me get it right. So if I drop Kia, because she was just rude and, right?
What we going to do? Well, we're not.
So I dropped her right because of that. And then I go for you, right? So then I leave Kia. So then I decide to go to Aquinas, and everything goes through, but I still owe Kia money on top of owing you money.
Remember, you're not going to pay me. I get paid by the seller.
Right.
But if Akia has that attitude, and she says, well, wait a minute, I showed Ty that house.
I sure did.
I took her over there. I took her to get pre-approved over here at this lender. And just because we fell out, where is my paycheck? Now, Akia can call and get with me and says, you may have finished that transaction, but that paycheck is mine. Or we may have to come to an agreement to split it. So don't just start dropping your realtor because you get an attitude. Try to talk with their broker and finish the transaction because they can come back. Now, if you don't see any houses or if you didn't sign any contracts, that's a different story.
Right. Okay.
But if you're already within a transaction and you found the house, you love it, and Akia was the one who showed it to you.
Act right, Kia. Yeah.
Yes.
But this is very good. I mean, because people get frustrated very easy. And again, if you really don't know about real estate and what the processes are, you might find someone that does be like, screw them, I want to go somewhere else, not realizing the bind that they put themselves into, especially if you sign papers.
They do it all the time.
Guys, I just want to remind you, please go to YouTube. If you're on your phone, you should have a YouTube icon on your phone that you press on. You could sign in with your whatever, Gmail, Yahoo, whatever. If you're on a desktop, please type in YouTube. Go to YouTube, type in Mothers Unfiltered. You'll see our roles. Please press the subscribe button, like button, and hopefully the share button. So we could continue to do what we do.
I also want to say we're going to go ahead and please, we're going to put your email, if that's okay, whatever the best form of communication to reach you. If anyone has questions or definitely, wants to, reach you, Aquinas, can we do that?
Definitely. You have my work email, Akia.
I don't think I have your work email, but can you? I know Ty's right there about the type. Can you just let me know what your work email is?
It's abrown@BlairRealtyGroup.com.
Okay, this is Florida-based, right?
Yes. But in any state, if you need a referral to a trusted realtor, we can always find you a realtor in your state.
Okay, perfect.
Because we network together. So some I know and dealt with personally, but if not, I can still find you a replicable realtor.
Before we leave, I just want to say, everybody, thank you for tuning in. We also put in Aquinas Brown's email. Quan, if you could tell our other sister Stephanie, I can hear her in the background. That would be great. So she can hold her voice. She need to be watching the show. That's a whole other conversation.
I always refer you to your state as she works out as.
Thank you so much in reference to everybody tuning in. Definitely, this is the time. If you're looking to purchase anything, your home, a condo, or these different types of things, these avenues, interest rates are very, very low. I'm not in the real estate field at all, but I definitely know many people that work in that industry, and they're all saying the same thing. So please utilize that email there for the questions that you may have. And even if she is out of Florida, she does definitely know people in other states and can lead you to the right direction. But thank you once again, guys, for tuning in. We love you. We love you. We love you. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.